We are live on video, but not X.
Getting the
Go ahead to
spaces.
space.
Yeah, I got to refresh. Earlier, it wasn't like it was just said reminder.
Get the space going. Let me get these announcements out.
Muslim Live. Bitcoin. Can you trade sideways at 94 instead of 95? It's just above the threshold of one of my yield pools. So
Oh, really?
yeah, so I haven't like 50% of the time over the last 3 days I have not been earning because it's been just like I think I'm at 94.4. So it's been above that. Like it's been trading sideways for a few days now, but it keeps like going
Yeah.
in and out of that range. It's my bad thing about the yield pools is when Bitcoin goes up, you sell all the Bitcoin on the way up, and then you stop earning yield. I mean,
Right.
you sell at a profit, but it's not anything crazy. I don't know. I was working those impermanent loss calculators, and I don't know. It just the math doesn't ever seem to add up. Like when I do it manually, it seems kind of different than what those things are telling me. Like when I
I
work
think you're
my
reading out of
actual
space.
yeah, like when I work my actual numbers that I'm seeing from my pools, it looks like my impermanent loss is more so like a 35% loss, um, to as if I had just held. Um, that is factoring in my yield too, though. So without the
Yeah.
yield, it's probably whatever higher, closer to the 50-50, I guess. But
Yeah. I mean, the yield definitely helps in the long run.
yeah, no, the yield's been good. The yield's been good. I mean, it month one, like I said, it was like 33%, but we had a lot of volatility. So far, month two, I've only harvested 2 out of the 7 pools, but it's at like they were both like 22-23%. So first 2 months is higher than my estimated average of 20. So in pretty good shape. But we'll see what it looks like when we're going no volatility or bear market.
Yeah.
So, but I don't expect we're falling into a bear market right away. We probably got more upside based on the
I
recent
think so.
breakout and M2 money supply. All right, I probably
Yeah.
don't need Discord open anymore.
Yeah. If you can you unmute on the space?
Oh yeah, oh yeah. Everyone just missed all that wonderful Bitcoin gems.
All the Bitcoin alpha.
I was all muted and stuff. All right, we got the threadcast up.
Yep. Already got 100 comments in there, so people have
I
been
like
going.
I like I like Khan's comment about moving the price of Leo up and very up. I'm with
Yeah,
it.
that's all. That's all contingent on LeoDex at this point. Um, we've we've been obviously working really hard, and we can get into those updates. But I put out a thread actually at the beginning of the threadcast. If you go and look back about the Leo buybacks with LeoDex revenue. So we kind of let that revenue just kind of pools up, and then it autonomously buys Leo. So it's actually swapping using the Leo cacao pool. So it's just very slowly buys Leo off the market. There's about like $28,000, I think, pooled up in that account. And it buys a very small amount of Leo in random intervals. So it's usually buying about like 2,000 or 3,000 Leo at a time. And then, it's just kind of pulling that up. And then, we'll obviously have Leo DAO votes on what to do with all of that. So yeah, it's been going well though. I think the real key is finding, finding more volume is really the lead domino for everything. So we're kind of putting all the nice pieces into place. and just growing the volume is what's going to lead to the price appreciation that I think we're all looking for. So kind of leads us nicely into the LeoDex update. So I might as well get into that.
Do it.
So the I think the biggest update that we're about to roll out is the dashboard. I kind of want to share a screen and show it because I think it'd be worth doing kind of a little live walkthrough. So let me boot up LeoDex on this browser over here.
The Dex.
Yep. See, not that one. So many tabs. All of the tabs. Is this the right tab? I'm gonna find it. That's crazy how many LeoDex tabs I have open though.
That is bananas.
I've got probably 30 different ones. Let's see if I can just share this. They really need to make it easier to find your own tabs though, to be honest with you.
I'm just busy looking at a Bitcoin chart.
Yeah.
I feel like I've of late become a Bitcoin maxi when it comes to looking at charts. I
Why
don't
is
pay
that?
attention because it's like 90% of the time I'm just looking at the Bitcoin chart. I'm trying to figure out, if buying more now and putting it into a pool makes sense, if how I redeploy capital when the pool, my pools get exhausted one way or the other, and then also just like really my big thing is Bitcoin's super overbought right now, on like the like technical indicators like stochastic RSI, things like that. So it's like I don't want to buy when we're in an overbought state, but that doesn't mean we can't keep going higher because there's been a couple other streaks where we've been in overbought territory for like 2-3+ weeks. So right now it's we're a little over 2 weeks since it's been in overbought territory, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's going to go down. I was hoping it would work that condition off going sideways, but it hasn't been. So I think my game plan is, regardless of what price we're at, once we get back to towards like oversold area, I think I'm probably just adding and pooling because me personally, I need to have higher levels with the pools because like all my pools pretty much max out, like anywhere from 95 to like 110. So if we push to new highs, I'm going to have none of that Bitcoin left and no pools earning me yield. And that's no fun. No yield is no fun.
Yield is definitely a good thing.
Yeah, I love me some yield. We all know that I'm a income junkie. I'll take income producing investments all day long. So.
Yeah, we'll have some good news on the income front when we talk about the LeoDex updates for TCY.
Freaking TCY. I can't believe the launch is going to be when I'm at a conference. I was like, seriously, bro?
Are you going to be gone May 5th?
Yeah, I'm going to be literally like in a conference room. I'm going to be in Austin, Texas at a conference. I don't even want to say a real estate conference because it's more so just like a business investor conference. So yeah, I was just like, come on, man, really? That's when they launch? Monday, Tuesday, I'll be at that conference. Any other day, I'm sitting in front of my computer ready to YOLO. So I doubt I'm jumping in unless like I run up to my computer on the lunch break or something. But I also, don't want to buy it. after it's launched. Well,
Right.
unless it sells off, but I don't see that happening because there's no reason for anyone to dump. It makes no sense. Anyone that's getting tokens, any of the bondholders.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's going to make a lot of sense to dump right away.
Yeah, so no, I think it could be a good, fun little gamble, but I will not be at my machine. Oh well. He said when he was talking about next week a week ago, I'm like, perfect. I'll be around. And then it
Yeah,
got
didn't think it was going to
punted
be that.
punted 3 more days. I mean, doing it on a Monday makes sense though, because then you got all week.
All right. I
For
don't know what's going on with the sharing abilities on Restream right now, but
can't share the decks.
yeah, I'm just trying to share. I mean, it's crazy how it's crazy how complicated they're making this. Let's see. I think I may have gotten it. May have gotten it. All right. We're doing it live. So looks like we're good here. Let me share this. In the Threadcast, you guys can let us know if it looks good. But we've done a bunch of updates to LeoDex, so I figure it's probably easiest to just show it rather than only talk about it. So one of the first kind of major things you'll notice is like the when you load up the homepage of LeoDex, it'll pre-fill ETH and Bitcoin. Those are the two most swapped. ETH to Bitcoin is the most swapped route. So there's some good reasons behind doing this. Obviously, just showing that we've got those assets is a big deal. And then the other thing, I'm on the beta right now, so it's not loading this very well, but let's see here. Go back to swap. There we go. So kind of a big part of this, kind of what probably most people would think is like a minor update, is actually kind of a big update, because when you load up the LeoDex homepage, now you immediately see that ETH and Bitcoin are available, and then it also shows you the routes on the right. Because what I've noticed is a lot of people still think that we're only a Maya interface, but we've actually got Maya, Thorchain, Chainflip, and Ringo now. So having it preload ETH and Bitcoin actually will then have it load all the routes for you too. And I think this is a good way to get people to realize what's actually available on LeoDex. And then it's kind of giving you a quote of what the pricing looks like too. So I think it's just a good thing to have in terms of like quality of life improvements. So another thing we added is a fee breakdown. So if you click this little arrow, it'll actually show you the fee breakdown without you having to like select route and do the swap. Before, you had to like continue with route, select the route, and then continue with the swap to get the confirmation window that would show this breakdown. So I noticed some people gave us feedback that they should be able to see the fees without having to actually do any of that. So you can click this drop down and get the fees now. And obviously it shows you like the affiliate fee, the outbound fee, the network fee. So obviously the affiliate fee buys back Leo, and then the other fees are kind of protocol layer based fees or blockchain based fees. So that's all nice, kind of good quality of life again. So the other thing we added is this quick history. I may have to actually swap something to get the quick history looking nice. Let me just do a Cacao to Leo swap.
Live swapping.
A live swap. Again, I'm on the beta UI, so it is a little bit slower than production, just because this is where we test stuff, but it's not too slow. So you can see here, well, I'll show you this first. So it says best price and the fastest. Obviously, it's the only route, Cacao to Leo. So I'm going to buy about 1,000 Leo here. It'll show you the affiliate fee is about 8 cents. And then I can hit continue with this route, swap, confirm swap, and it's going to do all the things. and we'll just give it a few seconds and we'll do the swap. The real reason I'm doing a live swap is so that we can show the history. So you can see it's all going here. It's indexing at the moment. Shouldn't take too long. This is going to be a stream swap just because of the size and the relative to the pool size. But if you click the new quick history in the top right, this is now going to show you all the recent swaps that you've done. So obviously on this session, I've only done one swap. So I can see here I did 100 cacao to 1,000 Leo. It's still pending. But what's kind of new on this is that I can go here and then I can click view all, and then it's going to take me to the new dashboard page. So the dashboard page is where I think we've kind of stepped into, the mission statement of LeoDex, which is to make Dex feel like sex. So that's, kind of our stated mission for what we're trying to do with LeoDex. It's really important to me that we start kind of innovating on the front end side of things. Again, I'm on the beta, so you'll notice it's loading a little slow, but it just loaded now. So, getting out of the kind of traditional views of how people have done things with DEXs is where we're headed. So the new dashboard is kind of our first like major iteration in terms of new features and things that other interfaces don't have. So the really hard part the last couple of months was getting like the core swapping functionality live and pushed out, along with like the different wallet integrations. So now that we've got like the really core stuff, we can start to innovate in terms of adding features that aren't out there already. So I mean, you guys in the Leo community know this within Leo that we kind of start with the bare bones minimum viable product, and then you see us just iterating relentlessly towards a more long-term vision. So with the new dashboard, I think it's going to make it really obvious both to our community and then the cross-chain community more broadly, that we're looking to do something different and really try to make the user experience of using cross-chain more like using a centralized exchange. So the dashboard shows you your current balance. So obviously this is like the total value of all your assets. And it obviously says I've got it on 9 chains. Right now I'm connected with the Keystore wallet. So you can see here, if I click wallet, with a Keystore wallet, you've got access to most blockchains. So it's showing the breakdown of those. It actually will show you your historical value too. So it shows you these values. It's kind of interesting how it gathers these values. So every time you connect your wallet to LeoDex, it basically pulls your public address on the different block explorers, and then it calculates this value. So essentially, if you want the value of your portfolio, you have to like log in once a day, and then you can get it every day. Or if you logged in like once a week, it'll just show you your value last week to your value this week. So kind of interesting how that works with how we pull the data on chain. It'll show you how many swaps you've made on LeoDex. So you can see here, I made 119 swaps on LeoDex with this wallet, and I hold 20 different assets. We're still working on the volume and the lifetime P&L, so those will be rolled out later. And then a nice little pie chart of the value of my assets. So obviously on this account, I've got mostly cacao, and then Leo is my second biggest holding, and then you can see the other ones there. Again, making this look really, really like a centralized exchange, giving it the feel of, TradFi or centralized exchanges. Below that, you'll see my assets. So this will show, obviously in order of how much USD value I have in each one. So cacao, Leo, ETH, and then you can kind of scroll through the assets through that list. We added like this Sparkline feature, which is inspired by Ledger. If you've ever used the Ledger dashboard, I love the Sparkline feature. I think most crypto platforms have this now, like CoinMarketCap, CoinGecko. So I think it's awesome to have on a DEX interface. Below that, you've got your transaction history. So this was a lot of fun for us to build. It shows you all the swaps you've made through this wallet, so you can see. It hasn't showed the most recent one that we just did live, but the swap before that was a Thorchain swap from Bitcoin to Rune. So you can see that swap. You can see the date that it happened, which was a day ago, transaction hash. You can see the protocol here. It says Thorchain, and it obviously has chain flip and Maya swaps as well. So again, just a nice way to track everything and a nice breakdown that gives you kind of a more centralized exchange feel to things, even though it's obviously all built on DEXs. So shows you which addresses it went to and from, and all that stuff. And then we've got the transfer history here, which I don't think this wallet's going to have any. And you can change network. So if I want to filter, for Bitcoin or EVM swaps, I can do that here. So yeah, the dashboard is again one of those kind of like first steps towards where I think LeoDex is headed, which is innovation and iteration in terms of the product that's outside of what exists today in terms of DEX interfaces. I like here that we added this. You can add wallets too. So if I wanted to add another wallet and see what other assets I have on like two different dashboards at the same time, I can actually add wallets and do that from there. Any questions on the dashboard that you can think of, Mitch?
No, I was actually just reading through questions and comments on the Threadcast, but a lot of them have to do with either in relation to the referrals or just connecting to LeoDex. So we can kind of work through some of those. And some people had their questions resolved on their own while it was going.
Nice. Yeah, it's
some people dropped feedback. Lord Shaw posted something.
If you're gonna drop
feedback.
Make sure you do it as a top level thread with hashtag feedback.
Yep.
If you reply, you may not see it. So see Andersino quoted going to Rune swap.
Yeah, so that should I make the jump from Bitcoin to Rune? That's funny.
Do it. Ahmad Manga said, I love how every time I open LeoDex, the amount of chains on it seem to increase. Yeah, it's we've been integrating all these different cross-chain protocols, and I think over time it's just going to be more and more chains. So the one awesome thing about this industry is that Thorchain, Maya, Chainflip, Rango, and others in the space are just constantly building. So Thorchain is working on an XRP integration right now, which means that we're going to have Ripple trading on LeoDex. And it's not because we did anything; it's because Thorchain is innovating, and we're tapped into Thorchain. So building in a space where the other teams are innovating is a huge benefit to us. Khan said, limits and restrictions. Are there any limits on how many referrals a user can make, or any restrictions on how they can promote their links? No, there's no restrictions of any kind. So I've kind of teased the referral system a little bit. The referral system actually allows you to share a unique link, and then if anyone clicks it and then they make a swap, they connect their wallet and make a swap, you actually get 1/3 of the affiliate fee for that swap. So and you get lifetime swaps of who you referred. So if you refer someone in, let's say, and they swap, $1 million over the course of, say, a month or a year or something, you'll get 1/3 of all the affiliate fees generated by that $1 million worth of swapping on that wallet. Our affiliate fee is 0.45%. So that's the total affiliate fee, no matter what, whether someone was referred or not. If someone wasn't referred, then LeoDex gets the entire 0.45%. If someone was referred, then you get 0.15% of the total 0.45. So then LeoDex gets 0.3 and you get 0.15. So on $1 million, if you do the math, that's $1,500 that you would earn as a referral fee. So I think the referral fees can get really high. I mean, there's people in this space that are swapping millions of dollars a day, billions of dollars even. And if you're able to bring decent volume, you're going to start getting massive referral rewards. So it's going to turn. My goal with the whole referral system is to turn all of you guys and other people in the cross-chain space into marketers for LeoDex, because obviously the Leo team, we work really hard to build all this stuff. Spreading the word and getting people to actually use it is a really tough part of the equation. So I've always believed in, kind of creating an army of marketers, so to speak, by, having a really great product, having good word of mouth, and then obviously aligning incentives with something like a referral system is another great way to do that. So the referral system is designed so that you guys are motivated to go out and onboard people to LeoDex.
Yeah. Well, speaking of, so Con asked if there's any limits on how many referrals a user can make. I already know that answer is no. You can make infinity. And then he asked restrictions on how they can promote their links. I mean, obviously, you officially can answer that. All I can share is my opinion is no. Market it anywhere and everywhere, as long as you're not doing anything shady.
Yeah. I mean, market it however you feel like marketing it, honestly. The goal is just to get swap volume. And Ahmad Manga asked, where do I get my referral link? Once the referral system's live, you'll see in the top menu up here, if you can still see my screen.
Yep.
Next to dashboard, there's going to be something that says referrals. So you'll just click that. It'll take you to the referral page. And then from that referral page, you'll be able to, obviously get your link and whatnot. So then you take your link and share it, and it works. It just works. Again, it's one of those things where it just works. Like you share your referral link, someone clicks on it, then they connect their wallet, then they make a swap, and then you get credited for that swap. So you'll get a third of the affiliate fee on that swap. So like let's just say someone comes in and they make let's just say a $10,000 swap, right? So that person comes in, they swap $10,000, which would be a $15 referral or affiliate fee, or a $15 referral fee for you. The total fee on that would be $45. So 30 would go to LeoDex, 15 would go to you. And then you'll see it in your referral dashboard. You'll see that affiliate fee get stacked up. And then there's 2 times a month where payouts happen. They happen autonomously. So obviously we didn't want to make it a claiming system. We wanted to make it an autonomous, just payout system. So it's every 1st and 15th of the month, they get autonomously paid out from the referral affiliate address.
Let the volume commence.
Yep. Yeah, I think it's going to have a really big impact on total volume on LeoDex, which obviously is the primary, like I said, like the lead domino for us is getting volume and getting traction. It's hard to break into a new space. I've been talking to a lot of people about how it's really like developing an entirely new application, right? So I'm going to drop a screenshot of the referral page in the Threadcast so you guys can see what it looks like, because I think it'll help answer some questions about it. Let's see here. I just dropped it in the Threadcast. So again, it's. I'm also going to share it on the YouTube. I think it'll help too. The referral system is there in place to grow the volume. So that's the entire point of it. And it's to turn you guys into a whole marketing force, because it becomes something where, you can get heavily rewarded just for sharing it. So I think it's really powerful. I was going to share this screen, but I think it's going to cut most of it off. Yeah, it's going to cut most of it off anyways. All right, you guys can see it. Just go to the Threadcast and click on the image I just shared, and then you can see it. Yeah, Andersino said we're down a bit on the interface. We're on X scanner, more swaps needed. Yeah, we definitely need more swaps. It's been pretty slow lately in terms of swaps. So we need more volume. And so, if you guys ever make trades, you should make them on LeoDex. And if you're, people that trade crypto, invite them to LeoDex. And when the referral system's live, you can share your referral link and get a percentage of the fees that they pay when they swap. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, say goodbye to Binance and start using LeoDex. I'm not manga. No, you're definitely allowed to refer your second accounts. So I think what's going to happen is a lot of people will, and people do this with centralized exchanges. I'm obviously not officially condoning it, but what a lot of people do is refer. They create two accounts and they refer their second account using their first account, so that they actually get a percentage of the fees back. It's kind of like getting a rebate if you think about it. So no, I fully expect people to do that. We thought about looking for ways to prevent that, but honestly, I see it as actually like a use case for getting more volume. It's just something that people tend to do. And I think we should just lean into it, to be honest. So it's a way for people to get a rebate if they want to kind of refer themselves. But the big goal is like, if someone's brand new, they've probably never even heard of the referral system. So you just advertise your referral link on X or Reddit, and in other places, and that person clicks your link, and then they connect to LeoDex and they make a swap, and then their address is now, paying you affiliate fees every time they make a swap, now or in the future. Andersino said, how can we utilize the community to create more volume? Can we have some trade bots that we can crowdfund? Yeah, I mean, if you guys want to do anything, I think it's really up to you guys. Like, Task has been a big proponent of this. Like, the Leo team can't do everything. So, we're building the stuff. We're also advertising. Like, if you go on X, you'll see that we are really heavily promoting LeoDex, and we're really active on X, especially in the cross-chain ecosystem. We're doing everything we can. So at the end of the day, Leo's success is contingent on LeoDex's success. So if you guys are Leo holders, it's up to you to act like owners and get out there and start marketing LeoDex and bring people to the front end. And if you're not doing that, then you're not helping Leo succeed. So I know that Task is a huge proponent of that, and he does a lot of work to bring people both in Leo and LeoDex. And it's a community effort, as much as anything else. So I would love to see more community effort. I think there's a little bit of a lack of, honestly, there's a big lack of community effort to grow LeoDex. So, I don't really see many, Leo community members out on X telling people to come to LeoDex and use it. I really just see myself and the main LeoDex account, and then maybe like 2 or 3 other people that have been talking about it. So yeah, it's, if we want to succeed at this, it's going to take all of us working together. African Man said, outside the referral program how else are you advertising LeoDex? The referral program is designed so that you guys get out there and are aligned in terms of incentives to grow LeoDex. Outside of that, we are doing, if you look on X, we're super active on both the LeoDex handle and on my personal one. And obviously just talking about LeoDex, talking about upcoming features, promoting, that we have cheaper swaps than other exchange interfaces, DEX interfaces. And I'd say another big one is the Chain Chatter. So every Wednesday we do the Chain Chatter podcast, and I've been inviting guests from the cross-chain space. So last week we had Alux from Maya Protocol to talk about TCY. The week before that we had Kenton, who's a really big bond, node operator on Thorchain and bond provider. And he's also worked really hard to get people who haven't bonded before into the bond pools on various nodes to become bond providers. So he's done a lot of really good work. So we had him on the week before. And then this week we'll have This week we'll have a guest on as well this coming Wednesday, which is tomorrow actually at noon Eastern. So I haven't actually publicly announced it yet, but we've got Slam Bammer coming on to talk about not just TCY. I mean, obviously TCY is going to be a big part of it, but also to talk about just Thorchain in general and what he thinks is happening with the ecosystem. So that's going to be tomorrow at noon Eastern. So look out for the announcements about that. We'll start rolling those announcements out today on LeoDex. Yeah, I think Chain Chatter is a really big way to do like long-term branding around LeoDex. So you got to look at branding and growth and marketing in a few different buckets. You know, there's a lot of short-term things that we should be doing as a community to grow volume. One of the long-term things that we're doing is like Chain Chatter and growing the brand around LeoDex, you know, making LeoDex a firmament in the kind of cross-chain ecosystem society, letting people know that we exist, what we stand for, what we're aiming to do in the future, showing them the new features as we roll them out. You know, one way that we really made a name for ourselves on Hive is by rolling out like an MVP with you know, the original Steam Leo UI, then the Leo Finance UI, and then the InLeo UI. And the way we made a name for ourselves was we would put out, you know, an MVP and then we would iterate rapidly on it. So you guys have obviously seen this in real time where we develop something and then the new features just keep coming. And we iterate towards a long-term vision of what we think the UI should be. So, you know, microblogging didn't exist on Hive before us. You know, shorts didn't exist on Hive before us. And we really brought those things at scale to the Hive blockchain in very much the same way. We've got a vision of what LeoDex can become, and we're just going to keep iterating towards that vision. So you guys have seen, and I just did the share screen of, you know, what the dashboard looks like and some of the other features that we've added to LeoDex over the past week. It's, you know, we started with a very simple core swapping product, and you can see that just over time, we just continue to iterate and add things. So, you know, once the referral dashboard is live, I think it's going to be, hopefully, we'll see a major increase in volume as we get other people advertising LeoDex because the incentives are aligned. And then, you know, if we want to keep going with the updates, the next update after referrals is going to be the TCY dashboard. So TCY is the upcoming new token on Thorchain that's being claim dropped to all you know, affected ThorFi users. So those are people that collateralized Bitcoin and Ethereum on Thorchain and had it frozen. So those users are going to get claim dropped TCY. And I've been talking to a lot of different people in the cross-chain space and asking them what they want to see in terms of a dashboard for TCY. You know, what would make them, you know, check something every day or use something every day? What would be useful to them for TCY? So I've done a lot of market research on that, and obviously just talking to a lot of people in the space. So we are working on this TCY dashboard, and it will be live by May 5th, which is the TCY launch. So at launch, you'll have this new dashboard for TCY. You'll be able to see all the global stats for TCY. You'll see all of your stats for TCY. And I think Mitch will appreciate this. I've sourced a lot of inspiration from TradFi. So if you've ever bought like dividend yielding stocks on TradFi, like say Fidelity or some other platform like that, you know, they've got a lot of different like portfolio trackers and things like that that allow you to see, you know, at what price did you buy, you know, the stock that you bought, you know, how many dividends have you received? What's the dividend schedule? Like, when are you going to receive your next dividend? Projected, you know, growth of your portfolio, whether you compound your dividends or whether you sell the dividends. So things like that in TradFi have been around for a really long time. And obviously people love to invest in things that pay a yield, as Mitch was talking at the beginning of this. So I've sourced a lot of inspiration for the TCY dashboard from those things. So when we release the dashboard, you guys are going to see what the team has cooked up. It's really cool. I think it's going to make people who buy TCY and hold it really want to use LeoDex. Whether or not they swap on LeoDex, obviously we hope that they do. They're going to want to use LeoDex in order to track their TCY at the very least, because I don't think any other platform has built really anything to track TCY. And I think what we've built is really cool. So you've seen the kind of main dashboard in the showcase today. The TCY dashboard is going to kind of have a similar vibe to it, but again, sourcing a lot of inspiration from TradFi and dividend stocks, where you're going to see, for example, like if you bought TCY 10 different times on 10 different days, it's going to show you, how much was your cost basis, how much TCY did you buy, what price was TCY when you bought it, what price is TCY today. So it's going to show you your P&L. It's going to show you how much your historical dividends from holding TCY have been. It's going to allow you to kind of project out your future earnings potential if you compound or if you don't compound. It's going to show you like the ratio of TCY to Rune. A lot of really cool, statistical info. Again, I think this is one of those moments, and I think this actually has a very large part of the marketing conversation around LeoDex and how we're aiming to break into the cross-chain market. When TCY goes live and we release this dashboard, I think we'll be the first ones to have a really good dashboard for TCY, and that will hopefully lead to a lot of people in the cross-chain space starting to recognize LeoDex as an innovative platform that's here to stay for Thorchain, Maya, Chainflip, Rango, and other protocols in the future. Yeah, Brianna, the AMA is done weekly, every Tuesday at noon Eastern is when we do the AMAs. Andersino said, I think Inleo should own TCY also. Yeah, I plan to buy. I have a small ThorFi position that I'll get, so I'll get some TCY from the ThorFi airdrop or claim drop, and then I will also be buying TCY is my current plan. It launches at 10 cents, and I'm pretty bullish on what TCY could become in the future. So I will be buying some. I'll be buying some at launch. Ahmad Manga. So the dashboard, I actually want to share my screen again to show it, but let's see here. All right, should be able to see my screen on YouTube now. So on the dashboard, it shows you your balance change over time. So this will help you track, obviously, your historical balance. So one of the things that we're going to be adding to the dashboard is subscribe for TCY. One of those things are going to be coming to LeoDex, the dashboard on LeoDex for your other assets. So down here where it shows you your swap history, we have a portfolio section added where it's going to show you your historical kind of breakdown. So the way it's probably going to work, and we haven't developed it yet, but the way it's probably going to work is like if I go to Cacao right here on my asset holdings, I'll be able to click on it and it'll do like a drop down and it'll show me all my historical buys for Cacao. And what price was Cacao when I bought it? What asset did I swap from to Cacao? So like if I bought Cacao using Bitcoin, for example, it would show me like Bitcoin to Cacao. And then yeah, you'll see that whole breakdown. So long story short, yeah, we are working on getting that for other assets. The start is going to be TCY, and then we'll be able to take a lot of that information and utilize on the asset holdings page.
I think the most important question that I've seen yet is, can we buy TCY through LeoDex on launch?
Yeah, you'll be able to swap for TCY at launch. So you'll be able to use LeoDex and it'll be super easy. You'll literally just click, like any other asset, you'll just be able to swap it. So the only place to actually trade TCY is the TCY Rune pool that's being launched on Thorchain. Yeah, Vanessa, you can buy TCY on LeoDex.
So is then the easiest, clearest path and most efficient path to swapping TCY is basically like selling Rune for TCY?
You'll be able to, similar to how any assets work on Thorchain, you'll be able to swap using anything that's on Thorchain, and it just routes through Rune. Yeah, so like if you got Bitcoin, if you got ETH, if you got Rune, obviously, if you got Litecoin, for example. Any asset that's on Thorchain, you'll easily be able to swap directly for TCY.
Cool. I mean, that should be a fun couple days next week, because I know a lot of people, want to grab some TCY. So I mean, that's going to be a good little chunk of volume on launch through LeoDex.
Yeah, it should bring us some good volume. And like I said, it's it's important that we take advantage of moments like this where things are changing in the cross-chain space, and we're a new interface, and obviously people need to learn about us and start to trust the brand. When it comes to swapping and using a DEX, trust has a big factor in it. It's people need to recognize your UI and know that they're not getting scammed or something like that. So, making a name for ourselves is really important. And in a moment like this, where we're able to kind of, like right now, we've been playing catch up, right, with every other cross-chain interface. Most of these interfaces have been building for the past 2 to 5 years. So we've been playing catch up, trying to get features rolled out so we can iterate towards being feature complete and having everything that's out there in the space already. The launch of TCY represents an opportunity where everybody starts from the same baseline. So Thor Swap, Thor Wallet, Trust Wallet, every wallet out there, every DEX interface out there, we all start from the same starting line when something new like TCY comes out. So it gives LeoDex kind of an even playing field versus having to fight against that they've had a lot of time to build up this stuff. So with the TCY launch, you should definitely expect that the dashboard we build is going to be very innovative and kind of ahead of its time, so to speak. Because what I've seen from other interfaces, they're basically going to allow you to claim and swap. I haven't really seen any good tracking yet or analytics around TCY. So our focus is going to be analytics, building a really great UI for it. And again, sourcing a lot of inspiration from TradFi.
It's so I see we got some different questions. And Nacino's got a question in regards to Inleo. I don't know if you saw it about the containers.
Yeah, we thought about doing that from the beginning. One of the issues I see happening with that is I think the containers will just get downvoted in terms of the high. Probably not even worth us building it, because you've obviously got the people that are out there that are actively trying to tear us down. And it seems like they're actively just trying to keep users out of Hive. So there's been some downvoting issues. There's been quite a lot of downvoting issues, actually, which is again why I like that we've built Leo in kind of the echo chamber where they can't downvote your Leo rewards. So they might downvote your Hive rewards, but at least they can't touch the Leo part. So long story short, I don't know that it's worth doing that, to be honest. Maybe someday we'll do it. But yeah, I just don't think it's going to have a huge impact right now.
Makes sense.
Morty said LeoDex referral system and TCY launch on the same day possible. So the rollout schedule is the dashboard will go live today. So everything I just kind of showed you on the share screen, that will go live today. The referral system I'm aiming to have live by tomorrow, maybe Thursday at the latest. So either Wednesday or Thursday. I'm going to really do my best to get it live tomorrow because we've got the Chain Chatter podcast. Excuse me. So it'd be nice to promote that on the Chain Chatter live. So I'll try to have referrals live by tomorrow, and then the TCY dashboard will go live on May 5th. So that's kind of our rollout schedule and how things look right now. So this week you're getting the dashboard, you're getting the quick history, you're getting the new fee breakdown UI. So all the things I just showcased in the live stream, you're getting today, you're getting today, and then the referral system you'll get either tomorrow or Thursday, and then May 5th is next Monday, I think. Double check that out.
Yes.
90% sure, right?
Yes.
Yeah, Monday. So yep. So next Monday, you'll get the TCY dashboard, and then obviously the TCY launch happens on that day. So as soon as TCY trading is available, it'll be available on LeoDex. The dashboard will be live. You'll be able to track all of your, your cost basis for buying TCY. So I know Mitch loves yield. So for example, Mitch, on launch day when he's not busy with his IRL stuff,
unbelievable.
He'll be able to go to LeoDex. He'll be able to buy some TCY, and then LeoDex will keep track of it for him in his TCY dashboard and tell him what price he paid for the TCY. It'll tell him when his next payout is. It'll estimate what his next payout's going to be, and then it'll also project like his future yield for say the next year. So let's just say he buys $1,000 worth of TCY, and the projected yield of TCY is it's 10% of Thorchain's income. Let's just say that 10% comes out to $250, right? So that'd be a 25% yield, $250 per year. So it'll tell Mitch, hey, you're projected to earn $250 over the next year on the $1,000 worth of TCY that you bought, at a cost basis of just say 10 cents per TCY. And then let's say he comes back a week later and he buys more TCY at 20 cents. Well, now his cost basis is, let's say he buys another $1,000 worth of TCY at 20 cents. His original cost basis is he bought, what would that be? 10,000 TCY at 10 cents. And then his next buy would be 5,000 TCY at 20 cents. So LeoDex will show him both of those buys, and then it'll show the blended, the blended cost basis, like, your total cost basis. And then it'll show you the yield, obviously, on all of that stuff. Again, I modeled it after, like, I've been a buyer of dividend stocks for a very long time. Like my long-term stock investing plan is kind of based around dividend yielding stocks. So, when I go to, I open my Fidelity app and I can see, my cost basis on stock that I bought, every single time I bought it. So, I DCA into different stocks that pay dividends. So it shows me like, in 2018 on November 2nd, I bought, $50 worth of a dividend stock, and it shows me exactly what I paid for the stock on that day. Shows me how much my P&L is on that purchase specifically. And then it shows me my gross, my total P&L on the whole position itself. So it blends all of them together. So we're going to do very much the same for TCY. I want it to look like a dividend stock, like you're buying like a dividend stock on Fidelity and you're tracking all this information. I want it to look exactly like that. So that's what the TCY dashboard will look like on May 5th.
Nice.
Asking about the Rafiki questions. I mean, I know one thing about Rafiki is it did get a bunch of downvotes from the Hive police, which is obviously disappointing. They tend to be very anti-innovation, very anti-growth in many senses. So I know that that's been a problem. I'm not really concerned with it. It's not like we built Rafiki to earn rewards. We built it to answer questions. The only thing that sucks is that if you ask Rafiki a question now, it won't show in your notifications when he replies. So just refresh the page you're on and you'll see the reply. We'll have to build some kind of workaround. The reason why it doesn't show in the replies in the notifications anymore is because they downvoted the rep score of Rafiki. So now the rep score is too low to show in the notifications. So Brando said, will Rafiki have Leo and Hive Power to vote your questions? Rafiki will have Leo Power to vote your questions. I think Hive Power is kind of a lost cause until this downvoting gets handled.
It's all about layer 2.
Focus on the layer 2. Andersino asked, can you talk why Hive people are downvoting Rafiki? And yeah, I talked about the workaround for the notifications. Why are they downvoting Rafiki? They just downvote things they don't like. So new users, growth of any kind, any type of innovation like Rafiki, they'll downvote any of that stuff. I think their goal is to make Hive not grow, is at least what their actions tell you. So I just ignore them. I don't really focus on them. We just keep building what we build, and that's what Leo's always done. Leo's always been just just keep building and ignore the people who say that you can't do stuff. But yeah, I see most of the questions are about why Hive people don't like Rafiki. I would say it's not Hive people. It's a very specific subset of keyboard warriors, let's call them.
Yeah, I'm gonna not even engage in that topic. I'll come back in like 5 years when I decide to sell all my real estate, and then I'll just buy a shit ton of Hive power and have fun.
Yeah.
So I roughly remember, know what Rafiki is, but how do I use it again?
You just use the hashtag #AskLeo, and then you can ask any question, and it's a chat bot that will reply to you on Threads.
Gotcha. All right. I'm familiar with that.
So it's pretty fun. It's honestly, it's a lot of fun. It's trained on Leo data. So if you ask it specific questions about Leo, it can tell you. You ask it who owns the most Leo power, and it knows. So it's like ChatGPT on Threads that is trained on Leo data and Hive data.
Nice.
It's really great. One of the main reasons we built it was to help new users. So like when a new user asks, has a question about how something works in Leo, the idea has always been they can do hashtag #AskLeo and they can say, how do upvotes work? And then Rafiki will reply immediately and tell you how upvotes work. So.
And Destino's having fun teetering on swapping Bitcoin into Rune on LeoDex.
I think he may have done it. Looks like he did it.
Is that it says, I see confirm. It says overview. I
see on the right side, it says swapping. I think he's.
Oh my goodness. That is an interesting move.
I think Andersino might be the #1 Leo swapper.
Nice.
So person from our community who swapped the most on LeoDex, I think that might be.
I mean, if I'm gonna give up any of my Bitcoin, and this is just my personal opinion, I mean, if I'm gonna gamble my Bitcoin, so to speak, and again, who knows? Maybe he's swapping Rune to swap it into TCY, but there's not much that's getting me to swap out of my Bitcoin right now. But TCY would probably be a decent gamble just because yield and potential. That's what I like about it. It's like you get the yield, but you get the potential upside. But you got to buy at launch because I'm assuming as price goes up, your yield goes down, right? It doesn't stay static.
Sorry, say that again.
Said I assume as price goes up, my yield would go down.
Your APR yield will go down.
Gotcha.
Yeah, like as a percentage, and that's if you look in terms of dollars, not in terms of TCY, like as a unit.
Yep. No, I get that piece, but I'm looking at it from a dollar perspective. That's why I'm just like, if I can't buy on launch, I don't probably want to buy at all. So super annoying.
Yeah, I think in terms of launch pricing, like some people have estimated the yield will be like north of 80%. But the TCY is not meant to stay at 10 cents. It's meant to be very high.
Interesting.
It's meant to be beyond $1 because it's meant to pay back ThorFi holders.
Yeah.
So in my opinion, it's gonna. I think on launch day TCY will be north of 40 cents. That's my opinion.
That'll be wild.
Yeah, I mean, that's my opinion. Not financial advice. I could be completely wrong. So.
You could. It could. Everyone could say, "F it. I'm just gonna take my losses, 10 cents on the dollar, and peace out." And it could go down to 5 cents.
Go down. Yep, could go down for sure.
I don't see that happen. I don't see it happening. That'd be awesome if it did. Then I can buy after the fact at 5 cents.
Yeah, I mean, again, DCA can be a good strategy. I wouldn't go all in on launch day, but if you set aside a certain amount of money.
Well, again, for me personally, I'm just looking at it from the yield aspect. It's like, all right, I can get 10% on my money. How much money do I want to apply to that? I mean, what's good about it too is as opposed to like with the Bitcoin yield pools. I mean, I have to sweat the ups and downs, and then things going out of range. With this, I just buy it, I earn yield. It doesn't matter what the price does, and so it's like you're getting yield with upside appreciation. How often do you
Right.
get that opportunity?
Yep.
It's like it's not being sold, as opposed to my Bitcoin pools, where when Bitcoin goes up, my Bitcoin's being sold. So, yep, super frustrating that it's launching when I'm away from my machine.
Yeah, I mean, I'm excited for it. I think it's the ability to bet on Thorchain's future success, because you're getting 10% of revenue, Thorchain protocol revenue, in perpetuity. So it's a way to buy something that will appreciate over time if Thorchain grows as a protocol, which I think I definitely believe it will. And growth comes in the form of the main KPI is growth in terms of trading volume. So I think trading volume on Thorchain is bound to grow. And then you're getting paid yield. So you're getting paid 10% of all system income for holding this dividend token that will hopefully appreciate as Thorchain appreciates as a protocol. So it's definitely a really awesome opportunity to stake in a growing project that will hopefully become like a blue chip crypto. I mean, if Thorchain becomes like a blue chip, crypto platform, your upside's massive. So I just dropped a screenshot too. I sent Andersino 1,000 Leo just to say thank you for using LeoDex for his big swap. I may start doing this if I notice in Leo users swapping on LeoDex and posting screenshots like he did. I'll start sending out some Leo just from my own personal account to you guys, just very random, off the cuff.
Nice.
Yeah, I just appreciate the support. It obviously means a lot. So, I think it means a lot for this whole ecosystem and how we aim to grow.
That's awesome. Yep. Next Monday should be interesting. Obviously, who knows what time it'll actually launch. Monday.
Yeah, the block time, I don't think the block time's been announced yet, but when the block time goes live, I'll start sharing it. We'll know the exact launch time.
Word. Well, you got any other parting words? We're creeping up on half past the hour.
No, I think we're good. I'm just looking through some of the questions. Andersino said sometimes you need to gamble to win. It's only magic internet money. And he tagged you.
He tagged me. I guess I've said that before. At least that's what the real estate investors say to me when they try and understand. Sometimes you need to gamble to win. Yes. You're right. That's why. I guess I have to figure out how I can YOLO next Monday, even though I won't be in front of my computer. Maybe I'll see if someone can buy for me, but then that probably gets messy because then I wonder, how does that work? So you're getting that 10% yield, but like does it's connected to those TCY tokens? Because what happens if you transfer them to different wallets? And
it's whoever's holding the TCY at the moment of the payout.
Oh, that's interesting. And does it matter what wallet it's in though? As long as you're holding it?
As long as you're holding it, it's got to be in a Thorchain address wallet. So, okay. Yeah. Oh, nice. Andersino's powering up all the Leo I sent to him. Nice.
All right. Well, who knows?
Maybe it's interesting. And actually, we talked about this a lot on the podcast I did with Alux last Wednesday. I highly recommend. I'll drop a link to the YouTube recording of that because I also cleaned up the audio. I know the X space was a little not functioning well that day. Let me see here. Deep dive on TCY. So it's an hour-long podcast that I did with Alux, and we talked about really everything related to TCY. And one of the things we talked about was the economic plan behind TCY. So there's automated buyback mechanisms for TCY. Again, another reason I think it's going to appreciate very heavily. There's automated buybacks of TCY. One of the ways that it buys TCY is the Thorchain treasury essentially will have TCY that it buys back. And then also the claim module will have TCY so like, let's say there's someone that had one Bitcoin in ThorFi and they don't claim their TCY for like 2 years. Until they claim their TCY, the unclaimed TCY is actually earning yield. So all the yield it earns is paid in Rune. It earns yield as Rune, and then it actually automatically buys back more TCY for the treasury using the Rune that it's earning from the unclaimed TCY. So the claim module is always accumulating more TCY, which creates kind of an automated buy pressure. He explains it a lot better than I just did, but yeah, it's very interesting. I'm very interested in the tokenomics behind TCY. I think it's really well designed, to be honest.
Nice.
Man said, how would the payout from referrals be? So the payout, if you go back to that screenshot I shared in the threadcast, the referrals are paid in Rune, Cacao, and USDC, and it's dependent on which chain they swapped on. So, for example, if you refer someone in and they swap on ThorChain, your share of the affiliate revenue comes as Rune. If that person comes to LeoDex through your referral link and they swap on Chainflip pays the affiliate fee in USDC. So the USDC is what you'll get. If the referral comes in and they swap on Maya, the affiliate fee comes as Cacao, so you earn Cacao. So obviously, like if you're an active referrer and you bring in a lot of volume, you're probably going to get some mix of all three, and then you can do whatever you want with it. It gets paid to you twice a month.
Good stuff.
Yep. But yeah, go check out that video on the deep dive, the TCY deep dive. Share the video too. It's one of our best performing videos, which isn't saying a whole lot because the channel doesn't get a ton of traction. I have noticed though, ever since the heavier emphasis on cross-chain stuff, we have gotten a lot of growth in terms of views and subscribers relative to what we had before. So I think it's brought a little bit of life to the YouTube channel as it has with the X. The X analytics look insane for the LeoDex account. So we've started to get a lot more traction on that front too.
Good stuff. All right. Well, yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens next week in terms of LeoDex volume. And I will not get to review it with you on Tuesday because I will still be at a conference.
Yeah, I will have fun at the conference. I will be doing a live stream on Monday for the launch. So
damn,
I'll do a live stream. I'll buy some, do all the things.
That sucks. Oh, well, y'all have fun without me.
All right. Thanks, Mitch. Thanks, everybody.
No doubt. All right, y'all. Be good.
Chain chatter tomorrow at noon Eastern.
Chain chatter.
Yep. All right.
Peace.